Joining us now for instant reaction is Senator Lindsey Graham, member of the House, Senate. I always think of you as House Impeachment Manager.
Worse.
Senate Armed Services Committee. Thanks for joining us. First time on the Ingraham angle. Great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
So you heard a little tidbit there. What's your reaction?
Very important statement that South Korea, Japan, and the United States thought the summit went well and were together behind President Trump. Now, if my Democratic friends would get behind President Trump, we may actually get a peace deal.
Some of them have, right? Some more progressive members of Congress have actually come out. It's kind of shocking. Some of them actually for the impeachment of Trump, I think, thought, let's give peace a chance. And yet a lot of the real criticism comes from someone like a Chuck Schumer or some of the more never Trump Republicans. Sometimes they throw you in that mix, but I say that's not true. You and the president have a great relationship.
I'm a big fan of President Trump. See, he inherited a problem that's been building for 30 years. There's no place for him to kick the can. 20 years ago, they didn't have any nuclear weapons. Now they got a bunch, and they got a missile that could hit America. If they marry the two up, then we're in trouble. And President Trump has told me from day one, the first time I met him, I'm not going to let North Korea have a missile that can hit America with a nuclear weapon. That's a non-starter. I'm going to offer them a deal that they can't refuse or shouldn't refuse. The fact that South Korea, Japan, and the United States are talking as one really will help. Compliment to the president.
Yeah, I have a brother who's lived in Korea for many, many years. Yeah. And he's still there. And he said, gathered around little villages, he travels all over. He said the people were riveted. Like every shopkeeper had a television on. And he said, let me tell you, for the South Korean people, this is like Gorbachev and Reagan. This is the biggest news, the most positive development for their lives, because they still have family in North Korea. They want to have a different scenario, not just for peace and safety, but for their culture.
Let me just say,
they're proud people, very proud.
There are over 2 million Korean Americans, and they all have families. President Trump and I talk a lot about this. He knows what a war would look like, and he would only do this if he had to, because a lot of people are going to get hurt or die, and it's unnecessary. But the president has made a decision. He's not going to contain a nuclear-armed North Korea, because they'll sell what they build. He's going to bring the program to end in a win way. But Democrats who have written a letter to him what a good deal should look like, I ask you one thing. Tell the world, North Korea and China, that if diplomacy fails because they play the same old games, all options are on the table, and get behind President Trump when it comes to the military
Rand Paul
option.
says you're a danger to the world because you said that the military options are on the table. Well, of course, aren't military options always on the table until we actually get something decided?
If it's not, we're never going to get a deal. I don't want to use it. The best way to make sure we have peace is to convince North Korea there'll be a war they can't win. Trump has done something no other president's done. He's doing everything he knows how to avoid a war, and I would beg North Korea and China to take him up on it.
It just came out before you came on that the Pentagon is expected to cancel the August military exercises with South Korea. Are you concerned about that? Is that too soon to cancel them?
So the president called me on Air Force One. He says, listen, I'm trying to let them know I'm serious. These they happen twice a year. They're designed to tell North Korea, if you get in a fight with South Korea and the United States, you'll lose. I'm willing to stand down to give them the space they need to make an intelligent decision. We can always put the exercises back on schedule, but this may be the last best chance in our lifetime for peace. And this is a bold move by the president. We're not going to withdraw our forces, but we're giving North Korea a sign of goodwill and some breathing space. And I don't blame him for doing this. To those who criticize the president, how well did you do with North Korea?
But you criticized him for complaining about how much it costs to do these interviews. I watched you on another network last night, Lindsey.
If you're watching,
I do my research on you. So you said it's ridiculous to question how much money it costs, but I kind of like the fact that the president's always worried about the taxpayers' money, whether it's money we give overseas to countries that trash us, or not to say that it's not important. But I think most people are like, good, he's looking out for our money.
The number one job of the federal government is to defend the nation. The number one job for those in the Congress and the presidents give the military the training and equipment they need.
Absolutely.
So when you're training together your allies, it's money well spent. We train so we don't have to fight.
It's incredibly important to our readiness, and the military will tell you that morning, noon, and night.
Good luck, President Trump.
Are we ever going to pull our troops out of there? He said that to Brett Baer. That's what he ultimately wants.
And that
28,000
home.
home.
Twice, because if we pulled out, China would run through the. They're doing the South China Sea.
The islands.
It'd be a sign of weakness to China, and China is double dealing now. They're beginning to back off. If you play Trump, you met with him, you shook his hand, you told him you wanted to give up your nukes for a good deal. If you play this guy, You're going to regret it. This is not Barack Obama. Don't play Trump.
Look at poor Justin Trudeau. I mean, he
yeah,
he
just
came out
if they'll do that to Canada, what would we do to you?
Tepid criticism. It's like he's going to pay. Lindsey Graham, always great to have you on. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
All right.